Good morning, LinkedIn, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you might be listening or watching. Happy Friday, December 6th. It is time to wake up with AI here with George and Nico celebrating day two of Shipmas from ChatGPT and friends. How you fellas doing today?
Doing great. Shipments day one, exactly what I expected. So in terms of what is going to be releasing over the next 12, already one for three. Uh, got Orion yesterday, 01. So it's the full version of that, and very excited about it.
Yeah, I'm doing good. How are you doing, Chris?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Um, it's been an interesting week for sure, and we're just getting started with the month. Um, man, uh, breakneck speed here. That's why we're showing up every day. Um, what was day one, Nico? Tell us about, what is this like there's a pro subscription now, charging all kinds of money. What are we?
So yeah, I mean, there are a couple aspects to it. Um, One of them is that you get a slightly so there's 01 is the official release, and what is this? It's basically, if you've been using 01 preview, um 01 is uh just, I mean, it's crazy better. It reasons much faster, and the speed of the reasoning is greater. The capability is greater, in my opinion, and I think that overall, um, it's definitely. I don't know how they compare it. They do say that the cost of it on the API end is higher than GPT 4.0, so that's a bit interesting in that respect. But given the higher reasoning capacity, it kind of doesn't surprise me, and I think that's going to scale down over time. So people who have a Plus subscription now, you have access to 01 and 01 Mini. They are soon to release, if they haven't already, a pro level subscription. Difference there is there is this. It's slightly better, the 01 Pro model. The But when I say slightly, I just mean that when you're looking at the scales of it, underneath the hood from Altman, he'll. I want to play the. Actually, yeah, it's just worth it to play the clip of it because he explains it much better than I probably ever could. Make sure the audio is on there. Okay.
This. And for scientists, engineers, coders, we think they will really love this new model. I'd like to show you quickly about how it performs. So you can see the jump from GPT 4.0 to 01 preview across math, competition coding, GPQA, Diamond. And you can see that 01 is a pretty big step forward. It's also much better in a lot of other ways, but raw intelligence is something that we care about. Coding performance.
So what we're looking at is a chart that is showing competition level math, competition coding, and PhD level science questions. And on the vertical is accuracy for competition math. For competition code is the percentile of it. And, well, I should say for all three, actually, is what it is. It's the percentile of accuracy for the model. And then the X is just which model it is. So for competition math, GPT-4 ranked in at 13.4% accuracy. 01 preview came in at 56.7%, and 01 is 83.8%. For competition code, GPT 4.0 came in at 11%, 01 preview was 62%, and 01 is 89%. For this is the most important one. For PhD level science questions, GPT 4.0 came in at 56%, O1 preview was 78.3%. O1 is 78%. And expert human is 69.7%.
In particular, is an area where people are using the model a lot. So in just a minute, these guys will demo some things about O1. They'll show you how it does at speed, how it does at really hard problems, how it does with multimodality. But first, I want to talk just for a minute about the second thing we're launching today. A lot of people, power users of ChatGPT at this point, they really use it a lot. And they want more compute than $20 a month to buy. So we're launching a new tier, ChatGPT Pro. And Pro has unlimited access to our models and also things like advanced voice mode. It also has a new thing called O1 Pro mode. So O1 is the smartest model in the world now, except for O1 being used in Pro mode. And for the hardest problems that people have, O1 Pro mode lets you do even a little bit better. So you can see a competition math, you can see a GPQA diamond, and these boosts.
So competition math, O1 is at 78.3%. And PhD level science is 75.6%. O1 Pro mode on competition math is 85%, 85.8, so almost a full 10% higher. And then on PhD level science questions is almost 80%, 79.3, so another 5% higher.
I mean, it looks small, but in complex workflows where you're really pushing the limits of these models, it's pretty significant. I'll show you one more thing about the Pro mode. So one thing that people really have said they want.
So same spectrum that we were looking at before when it comes to accuracy, reliable accuracy. This is showing the worst for, basically. So it's like the worst it could possibly do. At competition math, the accuracy level of O1 is 66.7. The worst O1 Pro could do is 80%. Competition code, 64.2 for O1. O1 Pro is pretty much 75%. PhD level science questions, O1's worst is 67.2, which if you remember is nearly the same as the best human. O1 Pro at its worst is 74.2%, which means at its worst it is better than the best human. That's the difference in short. And so you get that level of performance if you're willing to pay. I think it's like $200 a month or like $300 a month, something like that.
It's 200.
200 a month.
Yeah, I was literally trying to figure out how to upgrade last night.
Yeah,
but I couldn't figure it out. Like,
I don't know.
Because I already have a Teams plan, and I was like, I went to my billing, and there was no give me more button, Sam. Like, Sam, if you're listening to this, if you're watching, like a give me more button in my billing area would have been great because you would have had another sale. Now I don't know if it's launched to everybody, but I literally started watching YouTube videos, and this other dude on YouTube was able to like get to a screen where he could upgrade. Now maybe it was he just started a new account, because I even thought about like maybe I just go start a new account, and I'm like, no, I want it to be part of my Teams plan, and because I was like, listen, I'm invested, and I've got some pretty large things on there.
Because like I don't want to be one of those guys, but I'm one of those guys too. I think it's an early adopter thing, to answer your question.
Yeah,
if you were like serious early adopter, you definitely have access to it now.
I mean,
yeah, I mean, like you're talking.
I'm definitely not an early adopter, and I use GPT way less. I have to imagine, George, it's related to the team account.
I think so. Yeah, I think it's related to that I'm on a team plan versus like an independent individual.
Yeah,
so
because like
which is why I said I thought about going and just doing an individual plan, but I'm like, let me just play with O1 for a little bit anyway, and curb my wanting to spend money, because I got to this screen,
Yeah.
right?
Mm.
As an individual human, but I'm like, I can't tie it to my already
But on top,
existing plan.
yeah,
Yeah. So for business, it's not an option.
which is weird.
I'm sure it will be
Yeah,
soon enough. But it's
I
another
wonder. I wonder what
like
that enterprise tag is going to be. I mean, if, it's got to be 10x, right?
Yeah, I don't know what the enterprise. I don't need enterprise, but
yeah.
I'm willing with what we do to see the investment. Uh, but we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah. Got a contact for quote there.
Yeah, it feels like very old school. Like, here's this modern technology and an historical sales process.
Oh my God,
And
that was the conversation I was having this morning with Claude. Anyways,
uh, I found a well, I found it's comes all through my feed, but a video from I don't like sort of collaborative video between Morgan Stanley and OpenAI, and just the clip that stuck out the most to me that I think is sort of speaks to not only like what we have now, right, but like what's coming, what's what people I guess should be thinking about when it comes to uh, like where this is all going and like how this is all affecting business.
My name is Jeff McMillan. I am the head of firm-wide AI here at Morgan Stanley. We in financial services are an incredibly regulated business. And while many people say to us, well, how did you get out in front of this? And I would respond by saying large financial institutions like Morgan Stanley are not new to complex regulatory environments. We had to work in deep collaboration. I give OpenAI a tremendous amount of credit. That experience, I think, has been really helpful and has allowed us to actually accelerate our efforts. The question was, where do you start? And we wound up in a spot where we agreed that we would focus on the intellectual capital that sits between the firm and our financial advisors.
We're a global organization. We have 80.
And he goes on to say later essentially that and I wish I could. There we go. I think this is the bit.
And more of them, what this technology does is it makes you as smart as the smartest person in the organization.
So that's like that was the quip I was looking for, but coupled with the second half of that is sort of a perfect way of illustrating Jamie Dimon's point that he made a couple months ago when he said, "I don't care if you know anything about banking, as long as you know something about generative AI. Like if you know how to use ChatGPT, then please apply for a job, right?" Because that's sort of where this level of adoption is going. I think the most profound statement, really outside of like Shipmas was amazing, but honestly, it came out of that interview, was that Sam said, middle of next year, we are going to start seeing things that will just it'll be such a shockwave that people who aren't paying attention are going to be saying to themselves, wow, I thought that was just like completely impossible and would never happen. And like to see the test results per se, and even Sam's own unabashed statement that O1 is the smartest model in the world now. And it probably is. Again, like if we're talking about like O1 versus Claude, in terms of model strength, smartness, all that kind of thing, we still haven't seen Opus 3.5. So
Well,
that for now, I say it's definitely the most powerful for now.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing where my brain goes with this, and it's an interesting, like, true life fact that you'll find as well. I've met the smartest people, and they are just not good at communication. And I've met some people that are kind of smart. Man, they're great communicators. And as I was watching the same video that you put up earlier, where it's the Sam and the three other folks there, I had a couple thoughts. One, um, okay, it's super intelligent, but it's still not writing like a human. And I watched a couple other YouTube videos where people were using O1 and looking at it versus Claude, and how Claude is, when we're talking about generative marketing, like copy, this supposedly smart nerd is not able to communicate as humanly as I would like it to communicate. So there's that. Now, and I am not trying to be funny, and I am not trying to be rude when I say this next thing that hit my brain when I watched that video of the launch of the 12 days of Chipmas. I had to rewind it a couple of times and ask myself, is this generative video? Is this not even them on the screen? Because if you pay attention to like hey gen and hand gestures, and if you also watch the third guy from the left when he communicates, it's like and he's like and then how about like it's super like just like and maybe that's the way he communicates. But I literally was like, wow, are we being punked right now? Like, is the first day of Shipmas actually Sora? And like, these people aren't even at that dang desk. Now, I don't know if something will come out at the end of this of like,
That would
by the
be a
way,
bomb closing.
Right?
but I'm like, wait, some, I don't know, like the
That would be
background and then
brilliant.
anyway,
If they get
I
to the end of the 12 days and they posted a video every day and then the launch is Sora and like, by the way, all 12 videos.
We're made with Sora.
I
Yeah.
mean,
Wow.
I don't know, but you know what I'm
If
saying?
it could, right. If
So
they
like,
were comfortable, that would be a brilliant move.
teach it to be
Right.
fast, teach it to be smart, teach it to be, but teach it to also like create better, write
But
better,
but the
be
thing
more
is,
human. Like,
but so I get stuck on, to me, and I don't know, like this is just the way that I see it, because I don't know, this is the way I see that. It's kind of funny. I was talking about that with Claude. It was asking me this morning, like,
you guys
hey,
talk to
when do you
Claude way
think
too much.
that? Hey,
Although I do
it's
too, so never
yeah.
mind.
So you know, and that's what I tell people who are using the tool too. Every conversation is a new, like, it's brand new, right? You're talking to a brand new person, so to speak, that again, there's no context. It's just brand new. They have no clue what it is that you want to do. They have no clue how it is you want them to respond.
Yeah.
And a lot of that also, George, it's based on your custom instructions.
Oh, I know. Trust me, my
So
custom instructions are dope, but
Right.
So, like, yeah, I can understand that by default, it doesn't sound like, marketing content, or by default can't like write it that well, or what have you. But by default, a human that graduates college with like a general degree doesn't really know how to write marketing content that well. And I mean,
Right.
they
yeah.
they they can have, like, of course, they have like better conversational English, right? But that's also because they've had more conversations with other humans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That speaks to the nuance of that last comment in the second video, where everybody in the organization is as smart as the smartest person.
Mm,
Um, and I was already thinking about how all the metrics that you were showing are still based on the human input that is happening, right?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and I'm sure they have controlled scenarios that actually like it can only get that level of consistency if the AI starts handling, the inputs. But again, come back to the human inputs. But then, like that statement, as smart as the smartest person, we already know there's book smarts and street smarts. And the street smarts relate very much to the communication that George is talking about. And if we know that organizations and humans as a whole suck at communication to the tune of like less than 5% of organizations have communication training programs, and it's not something we're taught in schools. And if we're the ones that have created and trained AI, is it going to get better at that until it reaches the place where it's the one teaching itself? Because we ourselves have not gotten very good at teaching communication at scale. Obviously,
Well,
there's pockets of people, right? But if it's always if as long as the training model is trying to take into account everything, right? It's like
it, it's interesting. It's interesting that you say that because I do feel like I spend a lot of my time and a lot of my like custom instructions and things is I'm teaching it communication skills. And when I give prompts that have communication skills specificity, it does a lot better job. So it's interesting that you're bringing that up. Now I want to bring something up because you brought it up, Chris, and in the video it says the smartest person in the room. Um, Planet could be a room. The
mhm.
planet could be a room. And what I mean by that is you can pick the people that you want to be as smart as. And so I'm just gonna share my screen real quick here for a second because I want everybody to see a chat that I started yesterday, because I wanted to be smart about something that I knew that I believed in and that I thought was a good idea. And so I literally started a chat like, hey, I want you to research the story brand. This is the exact story brand that I'm talking about, and I want you to pay attention to all the best practices and get it in here. Then I loaded it up with some information like, hey, look at all this information for these other things that I want you to pay attention to because I'm working on this thing that is the superhuman framework. And so I'm like feeding it context and I'm teaching it. Now let's completely rewrite the copy that I have in this one place. Now that you know this other thing and that you're paying attention to this other information that we have. And so I just go through this process. And like I'm just giving it a metric butt ton of information and context and the way that I want it to communicate. And so then boom, out the other side, we pop out what is actually going to happen. So we've got the hero section, the problem, we've got the solution, we've got the process, we've got the, all these sections of information that is, by the way, Aniko, dope marketing, like centered copy with
Mm-hmm.
a strategy that I basically said, hey, I want you to look at everything that you know about this and let me use it. I didn't go watch 12 YouTube videos. I didn't go spend $10,000 on a program. I didn't like go hire somebody to write the copy. I said, this is what I want you to do and how I want you to do it because smart people put it out in the world and I want to leverage it for something that we're building. You can be as smart as the smartest person
Mm-hmm.
if you're smart enough to use the tool that helps you be smart as the smartest person.
But that's kind of that's kind of it too, is to use so because that statement makes it seem as though there's some like level of difficulty with like using any of these models. And then
There
another
is.
thing,
You
there
have to
is.
be a
hold
great
on,
communicator. You
hold
have
on.
to be able to put the pieces of the puzzle together. Anyway, I'll shut up.
So there's two things. One, you perfectly illustrated why there is an actual difference and how there is an actual difference between these models, right? Because what you were trying to do probably would have been 10x easier using Claude than it would have been using GPT, right? Because Claude already has this sort of natural understanding of writing, natural understanding of speaking, et cetera, and so forth. Now, this to the second part, yeah, you do. On one hand, you could like be the person that knows. On the other, you could just be inquisitive, and you could just ask your way to the answer. And I'm not even joking when I say I've done that multiple times, even when it comes to working with software or whatever it might be. I'll just ask and say, like, yeah, what do I need to do in order to do this? Or
Oh
how would
yeah,
I best go about doing this, right?
curiosity is a superpower. By the way,
Right.
curiosity has always been a superpower. In a world of AI, I mean, I don't know if there's a such thing as a superpower, like an
Yeah,
ultimate
it
power.
really is like the
Like,
ultimate.
listen. I'll use the young lads terminology. AI can make you OP. Like I'm just saying, AI can make you OP. Like you just
Is that back?
people.
Is that a term that's back?
I don't know. I don't know.
George
Over
I'm the
Bush.
old fart
overpower
on the I'm the old fart on the.
overpowered. Overpowered, I think is what that
I've heard
Yep.
my
used to stand for at
kids yell
least.
that for
No, that definitely
years.
is overpowered.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
Um,
down with OPP, just OP.
oh man. No, I think it's interesting, Nico, because again, we find ourselves like, yeah, again, how many people are actually good at asking questions like that?
Hmm.
And like where there'll still be value, like if George would have approached that, like I want to write, not to belittle it too much, but I want to do story mode on this stuff. How like there's so many other things like we should own the marketing space. There's so many frameworks, so many things that have gotten attention and uh that could have shown up, and now you're doing the work of like, oh, that doesn't vibe with me. And like I love being able to like either correct the course or manage the course from the get-go if I already believe, if I already have a belief or an understanding of something that I know, um, the outcome will be better if we go that route.
Hmm.
Um, but I think an often example when I'm trying to get uh, to a new understanding or learning is having to ask Claude to say, no, I don't want the general human knowledge base to to be your answers here. I want the AI native. Like that phrase has been a is one of the phrases I like to use to get like give me the AI take here. Um,
Hmm.
right? And that changes the conversations like drastically every
Oh yeah.
time, right? Um,
So curiosity and the power of questions and what you guys are talking about. I just want to pull this one little piece up here because this is another document, by the way. This is a I mean, listen. It's a one of 37 pages here. Unique value proposition and problems and the personas and well, it's just a document. Okay, it's a big document. But here's the thing, the power of curiosity. Okay, we've been working on this document along the way with this conversation. Please look at it and tell me what areas we should be thinking about to create the Superhuman Framework as an amazing resource for these humans, as well as make it a thriving business model in the future. What might be the gaps I'm missing, my blind spots, if you will? I don't know I know everything. I don't think I know everything. I know I don't know a lot of things. Like that's curiosity and understanding that you might be dumb combined together. Like how smart am I? How dumb am I? I don't know. Let's ask the question. And then that's when you get to the magic place of like, oh, ah, oh yeah, that'd be a great idea. Like that's the other thing. I hope people are leveraging it for like learning, like just these aha moments of like, don't be afraid to ask. Here's the thing. In organizations, you're afraid to ask the question because you think you're going to be judged. Ask the damn question. In AI, ask the question because you'll be like, dang, dang, let's do that and maybe a little of that over there too.
and while we're at it, let's wake up with AI. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Wow.
See you, Nico.
See you guys.
Peace out.